The Raptors bounce back with a big win over the Heat. 98-90 is the final. Welcome to Raptors Tonight. I'm Randy Urban, joined by Paul Jones and Jack Armstrong for now. Jonesy, when that Trent Jr. shot goes in, they're up by 3, high degree of difficulty. In that point of the game, what are you feeling?
That Gary Trent Jr. never lacks the confidence. I mean, he had not been shooting the ball well. He had not been having a good night, but Larry Bird used to say something about the late, great Dennis Johnson. He used to say, I never pass it to him early because he doesn't always make it. Late in the game, when it's important, I know he's going to make the shot. And I kind of got that feeling about Gary Trent. He kept shooting. He wasn't turning down shots, but they weren't going in. And you just feel like a guy like that, because of his confidence level, he just feels the next one is going in. Mm-hmm. I just thought it was important capping off the run and the way they played. Like, this was a grinding game. This was you're not scoring. Well, you're not scoring. And it was kind of back and forth like that. And the Raptors found a way to string a few hoops together. And Gary was a big part of that. And so that was a big shot by him. And you had to feel when that one goes down and gives you that kind of separation, maybe it's your night.
Yeah. Jack, I felt like there's Sherm. Sherm's back, baby.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey, buddy. We're into it, Sherm. Jack, I just felt like maybe this is me, but maybe I just needed this win. But I felt like the Raptors needed this win. I know it's early, but just indulge me a little bit. Did it not feel like that for you?
Well, I will indulge you because I think if you think back to Friday night against Brooklyn, that was a game you felt like, you could have had and you didn't get. And somewhere along the line, you want to get one, even if it's ugly, just to kind of even things out. And, to play your first 4 games on the road and to be 2-2. And, all these games are against teams that you think are going to be playoff teams. And the next 3 at home, Philly twice, and then Atlanta by the end of the month, they're the same way. It's against teams that are playoff teams. Mm-hmm. So it's hard. So to be 2-2 at this point, where they're at, and obviously, they've been banged up. You don't have Scotty Barnes tonight. Good to have Chris Boucher back there a little bit tonight, and you still don't have Otto Porter, and you're still scuffling on a number of fronts. To me, I think it was a heck of a win. And, I feel like right now, hey, man, they're 2-2. I'll take that right now. Right.
Yeah. Sure. Just like your suit today on TV, which was amazing. More of a complete game from the Raptors from start to finish. For you, what was the most impressive part of the win?
I'll take that for being late, Herb. So leave me alone for
No, I'm saying you look sharp today. That was like one of your best outfits ever.
There were a few things that impressed me about the Raptors today. I heard the guys talking about, Gary Trent Jr. I mean, he didn't have a good game, and he made 3 huge threes for this team in that fourth quarter. I thought OG Anunoby, who again didn't have a great offensive night, made some big plays for his team down the stretch. Obviously, Precious Achiuwa was phenomenal with his 22 rebounds, but his overall activity, Malachi Flynn came in the game and did a good job in the little bit of time that he had having impact. And when you give up the run you do like the Raptors did in that third quarter, you've got to have a big response in the fourth quarter. And the Raptors had a huge response in the fourth quarter, going on a big run, 25-9 run from about the 8:48 mark left in the fourth quarter, so about 10 seconds. They did a great job imposing their will. I thought their decision-making down the stretch, how they moved the basketball, it was very precise. It was very, very effective, and it was consistent throughout, I think, every player that was on the floor that touched the ball. So it was a great team win on the road, and it was one of those wins that it was done the right way. They made solid decisions defensively. They got better as the game went on, and I thought that offensively they made every big shot they needed to make down the stretch.
Jonesy, for me, it was the defense too that really set the tone there in that fourth quarter. It's got to come from the defense. And And when you looked at Miami's numbers from behind the 3-point line, 8 of 33, how much of the role was that the Raptors defense in sort of thwarting there? Because that's a weapon for them, right? Every game that they seem to beat us, they're making a lot of threes.
You know, I thought in the 2 losses, particularly Saturday night, Friday night in Brooklyn, not so much. I mean, you got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, they can just flat out score. So, I mean, good offense just beats good defense at times. But I felt on Saturday night, the Raptors defense didn't dictate what they wanted Miami to do. I mean, you know, their ball pressure, we saw it in the first game against Cleveland. It was constant. And Cleveland wore down in the fourth quarter. You know, with the exception of, you know, as I said, Durant and Kyrie Irving, the other Nets just had to play off what they did because the Raptors defense didn't let them get going. They didn't do that Saturday night. They didn't dictate what they wanted Miami to do, and Miami got whatever they wanted. Tonight, there was more of that. They made it tough for Miami. Their rebounding was better. You know, Sherm talked about the activity by Precious, the switching, the ball pressure, just all of those things, contesting shots. They were better tonight defensively. It might not have been their best, but they were better than the other night where Miami really kind of ran free and did whatever they wanted.
You know, to tag what Jonesy just said, you know, I think when you look at the Raptors, there are going to be very few nights that they win pretty, you know, and like have that guy like Kyrie where, you know, you could just hang your hat and he's going to make incredible plays. I mean, you have guys on the Raptors that will come up with a play or two here and there to do that, but they're more of a blue collar, hard playing team. And that's hard to do every night over 82 games, you know, and particularly when you're down in numbers a little bit and you're still scuffling in terms of what your identity is in terms of your second unit players. And so it puts a lot more pressure on your lead guys to do more and have to play more minutes. I was laughing. I'm watching the end of the game. And I'm saying, you know, Nick Nurse, even though they're 2-2, he'll probably get ripped tomorrow because he played his better players too many minutes. Yeah. And I'm like, the last time I checked, your job is to win games. That you know, because if you don't win games, I've been there. You get fired. You know, you have to. Yeah. You have to win games. So somehow, some way, you got to put guys on the floor to help you win games.
Yeah. Randall, I'll say this: it's too early in the season. We're 4 games in. The minutes police need to go to sleep. Like it's too early and it's happening. People are like, oh, look at the minutes. I had a great conversation at the NBA Summer League with an NBA head coach who said, and I think I might have told this story, forgive me if I'm being repetitive, but he said, Jonesy, you got to take care of winning. You know, you got your main guys and you want them at 34, 35 minutes. Okay. They played 32 minutes. You're in a 1-point game with 7 minutes left going down the stretch.
What are you supposed to do?
What are you going to do? Because if you rest them and you lose, why wasn't so-and-so in the game? Well, his minutes are high. And if you play them and you win, they're going to point to the minutes. Yeah. He said to me, Jonesy, take care of winning and worry about that other stuff later. And you know, to Jack's point, I'm sure the minutes police are going to come out with tickets tomorrow for Nick Nurse. And look, give me the win and I'll plead guilty to worry. And listen, if the bench guys played better and he could trust them more, he would play them. And right now, as Jack has said, his loyalty is to winning.
Well, Sherm, let's get into Precious Achiuwa because he came off the bench and became the first Raptor to record 20 rebounds off the bench, finishing with 22. And for a guy to talk about how they won't be punked and then come out and go nuts on the glass, that's a special quality when you can back up your words with a performance like that, especially at such a young age. He's a young kid.
Well, when you look at the Miami Heat roster, they don't have size. You're supposed to be able to take advantage of some weaknesses of the Miami Heat roster. And I thought Precious did a great job of just being active. He had a little bit of a Moses bemoaning him on some possessions where he missed a shot, went, got it back to get those extra rebounds. But I just thought his effort, his persistence, his energy on the glass, and, you know, to have a game like that on the glass, but still be involved in other areas by making plays offensively and being very, very good defensively, it just kind of, it continues to give you a peek into what Precious could eventually be when you're talking about a guy who can have major impact as long as he understands, as he continues to grow, to kind of understand where his lane is and how to get there the right way.
Mhm.
But the kid has talent. He's showing a lot of growth since he's been in a Raptor uniform. And a night like tonight really shows you how good he can be on the glass when he really puts his mind to it. And, you know, the kid he's 2 defensive rebounds away from a career high of 500 rebounds. So he's doing a great job having impact with the Raptors. And to me, I just like the way he's playing. And coming off the bench, they need that punch. Chris Boucher provided some. I thought Precious did a great job kind of riding shotgun when it came to energy off the bench.
Mhm. Jack, Freddie became the second all-time leading three-point shooter in franchise history tonight. Your thoughts?
He was even better tonight. You know, like he's kind of in some ways deferred a little bit, getting other guys involved. I thought tonight he, you know, took control a little bit more and really hunted down a shot tonight. Was very aggressive. Another strong game. I think it was 9 assists, 2 turnovers. You know, he's really willing to, as we all know, just to do the dirty work defensively, on ball, off ball. But tonight, I really saw the VanVleet that we've become accustomed to. And, you know, with Scotty Barnes out of the lineup, you lose a little bit of playmaking, you know, and you put a guy, you know, you need. I thought, you know, Siakam, if I'm not mistaken, had 5 turnovers tonight. But you know what? Some of them were just necessary because you need playmaking. You know, they give him the ball in the middle of the floor. And, you know, there's going to be issues that come up sometimes that are within your control, sometimes with outside of your control, where balls are going to get deflected and you're trying to take on 2 defenders and trying to throw through traffic and all that. But there's a little more heavy lifting. And I think it shows to me how valuable Scotty Barnes is. But I thought Fred VanVleet did that much more. I don't know if I'm making sense, but he did that much more heavy lifting tonight. And as good as his numbers are, I thought his effort and watching him play tonight, he was even better than that.
And Jonesy, from a career standpoint, like I know this has been said and talked about, but this guy was undrafted. How many people would want to do that over again? Because it's not like he's been in the league 10 years, you know, and look what he's done so far in this young career, where he came from. It's so impressive.
It is. It really is. And you know, we have all these analytical, quantitative measurements. You can't measure the size of a guy's heart or his will or his drive or desire. Like those things are immeasurable. You don't like the ballers. You get on the floor, and we've all been there. You're on the floor and there's a guy who's really playing, and you look and you go, man, this guy means business, you know, and that's Fred. Like when he's on the floor, he's all business. All the, you know, all this stuff about him being undrafted and what a great story it is. Hey man, he doesn't care about any of that. He's out there to get it done. So I tip my hat to him. I tip my hat to the Raptors organization, because he's one of many that they have found like that. You know, some of those guys aren't here anymore. Some of those guys aren't here. They find a guy, they pick him, they develop him. Some of those guys have been moved in trades, but you know, a guy like Fred is still here and he's still going, and he's carved out a terrific career.
Sherman, I'll just get out on this one real quick. You know, Siakam struggled early in this game, but I felt like he still came up big when it mattered. And that's, to me, another sign that he's reached a new level.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I mean, the first few games we've seen Pascal do a great job in terms of scoring the basketball at a high clip. Well, tonight it wasn't that efficient. But to your point, Randy, the great ones figure out a way to stay involved in the process. And I thought Pascal did a good job staying involved in the process, still making plays for his teammates, still being an energy leader. And when you can make winning plays that go beyond putting the ball in the basket, then your teammates continue to build on what you're doing. And I thought Pascal's leadership in a game where offensively he wasn't what we've been used to seeing him be early in the season, I thought his leadership was off the charts. And that to me, we can look at numbers and see how a player grows. Is he scoring better? Is he more efficient? Is he rebounding better, assisting? All of that. But you got to watch games to see how guys grow from a leadership perspective, from a way of producing without putting it on the stat sheet. And I thought Pascal gave us a glimpse of how he's grown from that perspective.
All right, guys, going to stop you there. Next game for the Raptors. They come back home for a tilt against the 76ers Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern is the tip. And don't forget to come by Real Sports after the game, because Raptors Tonight is live streaming from there with the cast of characters you see in front of us. And it's a great time. We'll take your questions and comments during the show. And also, before you leave, my older sister, Sarah, had her birthday last week, and I wanted to give her a shout out, but it was a loss and then another loss. So I'm doing it on a win. She's a huge Raptors fan, a big fan of you guys. So I just want to say happy birthday, Sarah. We love you.
Happy birthday, Sarah.
Happy birthday, Sarah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.